Shabbat, Ba Menucha, Shabbat Parashat Ki Tavo. We had an amazing week. The beginning of the week, we had the Hilula of the great Rosh Kol Bnei Agola, the Ben Ish Chai. Now on Shabbat, we're going to have the Hilula of the Maharal mi Prague. And in Chassidut, the birthdays of the Baal Shem Tov and the Baal Tanya. Two of the great, they call them the Meorot HaGdolim, the great lights of the world. Anyways, Shabbat Parashat Ki Tavo. The parasha starts with the mitzvah of Bikurim. When a person has fruits growing in his field, he must take the first fruits, and they would bring also the fattest fruits and the most beautiful fruits they would add. It was a whole thing when they would bring Bikurim. Yeah? And he must take that and bring it over to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bring it over to the Bet HaMikdash in Shalosh Regalim. And there was a whole process of what he had to do over there in the Bet HaMikdash. Part of the process is that when he brought the stuff, he had to say a bunch of psukim. And what does the psukim say that he says Arami Oved Avi, that our fathers started as worshiping Arameans, as we know that Yaakov Avinu has to not worship but had to work for Lavan Arami, and in the psukim it says Veveta oti el hamakom hazeh el haaretz hazoti, that you brought us to this place and into this land. And the Ben Ish Chai asks, why does it say first to this place, which is the Bet HaMikdash, and then to this land? In the order of things, it must say to this land and to this place. And he brings down Arav El-Gazi, that Arav El-Gazi says, that says, the first Rashi, right? The first Rashi in the Torah says that why did we have all these stories? Bereshit bara, everything. The Torah should have started in HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim, when we start with the first mitzvah. That's where the Torah should start. Why do we need all these stories? Rather for it to be for when the Umot HaOlam, when the Goyim come and say, you guys are thieves, you guys stole our land, we're going to say, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world and He gave us this land. Same over here. The whole purpose of HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving us Eretz Yisrael is for the Bet HaMikdash. So first we say, and He brought us to this place, the Bet HaMikdash, to prove to the Goyim that the rest of the land is also ours. Now, in Chassidut, we're talking about the Baal Shem Tov and the Baal Tanya, we also need to learn about it, something practical into our own lives. Not just something that was once upon a time during the time of the Bet HaMikdash, and Bezrat Hashem La'atid Lavo, it's going to be when we have the Bet HaMikdash, but also day to day. Wow, what do we have to learn from this? Rather, there's a couple of ways which a person could do Bikurim. Well, first one, I forgot where I saw this, but it's mentioned that when a person, the first thing he does is say Modeh Ani, and then he gets up and washes his hands and goes to Shaharit, and he doesn't eat and he doesn't do anything. But the first thing he does in the day is he goes and praises HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the same as mitzvat Bikurim. Why? Bikurim represents the first fruit that you give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And also, what do we have in this world, in this life? Our first hours that we're alive, the first minutes that we're alive. So the first minutes that we're alive, we give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The second thing that we could learn is that it says that first it said you brought us to the first that you brought us into the Bet HaMikdash, and then you brought us into the land. What does that come to signify? That also, we said before, that a person needs to understand that the whole purpose that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Eretz Yisrael is for the Bet HaMikdash. Same thing here. He brought us to where? To the Eretz, to the land. What is Eretz? When we in Chassidut, when we say Eretz, it means into physicality. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought us into physicality, He brought us into this world. You were born. Yeah? What's the purpose of a person? The purpose of a person is, does the Kadosh Baruch Hu dwell inside of you? Do you have a Bet HaMikdash in yourself? It says, V'asitem li mikdash, v'shachanti betocham, and I will dwell inside amongst them, inside of them. Every person needs to see, when I'm living as a Jew, when I walk around, do I walk, do I talk, do I breathe, do I see HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Or do I just walk and talk for myself? No. A person must know the whole purpose of his world, the whole purpose of this world and his life is for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to dwell down in this world. So Bezrat Hashem, we should be the best we could be, and we should be able to do tshuva. Right now is Elul. Oh, a vort for Elul also to finish off. I know I spoke a lot, but a little bit of vort for Elul. It says that the Goyim, there's no such thing as the mitzvah of tshuva for Goyim. How could it be? The Goyim are going to say, what do you mean? You gave them tshuva, you didn't give us tshuva? Says the Chidah beautifully. It says, if a melech shemachal, kvodo eno machul. Abba shemachal, kvodo machul. A father that forgives, yeah? He's allowed, a father that somebody disrespected him, his son disrespected him, he could forgive. He could say, you know what, I give up on my kavod. But a king isn't allowed to give up on his kavod. If someone disrespected the king, off with his head. To the Goyim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like a king. But to the Jews, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like a father. And a father is allowed to be mohel on his kavod. And that's why we have tshuva. Shabbat shalom umevorach.